Hey guys, welcome back. Today I was hoping to share with you some of my results from my marketing campaign on LinkedIn. So again, I want to break down every marketing effort that I do, and I want to kind of classify it. Is it an outbound or an inbound? How much time did I put in it? How much money did I spend? And what kind of results did I get back from it? So I hope you guys benefit from this. And if you're interested to see what I did on LinkedIn and how it worked out, follow along. So again, going back, I had another video that talked about the transition from full-time to a full-time career to consulting, and how I really wanted to communicate that transition period and how LinkedIn was a part of that strategy. So LinkedIn is a professional networking platform. For those of you that don't know what it is, I highly recommend that you become a part of it. And in the last video, when I talked about transition, my goal of using LinkedIn as a transition tool was to refamiliarize my network with who I am and what I'm doing, to do plant seeds of opportunity for the future, and then lastly, do some research. So if we just kind of break off some of that, because when you break down why are you refamiliarizing yourself with your network, well, it's for lead generation. And why are you planting seeds of opportunity? Well, that's for lead generation. So let's take those two and kind of break them off and consider this LinkedIn lead generation marketing strategy. And over on the right, you can see my LinkedIn post here that I put out. And this has been, it says a week, it's been about 10 days since it went out. And from the beginning, the strategy was to touch my network multiple times, so 3 times. So this is only the first part of the LinkedIn campaign, and this one is the one I'm titling Survey, because this is before I'm leaving my full-time job, and I'm asking them as friends of people that I trust if they would participate in a survey to help me understand the market demands for my services. It seems like it's easy to write this. Excuse me, I just heard gunshots? Okay. Live out in the country. That happens sometimes. So apparently everything's fine. Getting back to it, you can see this, how to write it. Basically, if you go through a branding exercise and you outline what's important for you, whether it be a personal brand or your company brand, outline those attributes. I kind of made notes over here about what my brand attributes are, and I try to incorporate those into my messages every opportunity that I get. So there is humility in here. This image I created with Canva, which is pretty easy to use. I was also watching some design videos, and they said you'll have a 10% higher participation or viewing if you put little people in there. So I took their advice, and did that. I don't know if it worked or not. And then I built the survey on Google Docs. So this is what the survey looks like. Google Forms, excuse me. And it was pretty easy to use. You could visit a website on how to do Google Forms. But essentially, I just broke out 6 questions. I tried to make them as short as possible. And part of this strategy was to go out and ask some of my network for help, because literally people like, if you ask them for help, especially if your questions are organized and to the point, and it really helps solidify your relationship again. When people invest in you by giving you help, they're in your closer network. So one of my purposes here was to pick out 5 people, and I stopped at 5 because getting feedback on a questionnaire is hard to incorporate more than 5 people. So I wrote a survey of about 6 questions, and if they wanted to, they could give me their name and email if they wanted me to follow up if I decide to take this venture. So that's what I did, and it worked out pretty well. Then my next step, after I scripted what I wanted to say and I built the survey and I took a picture and I edited it in Canva, I was ready to release it. And did they show the stats here? I thought they showed the stats. Anyway, I don't see them. Let me pull up another Okay, so I don't know why, but I can't find out how to show you how many times it's been viewed, but I do know that it's been viewed just over 700 times. So 700 views, 25 likes, and 6 comments. And what I did was I took, the first 5 group of people and I asked them for help on my cybersecurity questionnaire and got their feedback. Now they're tied into my story and feel closer to me. And then round 2 was I planted seeds of about 15 people in my network. And I told them I was going to be releasing this LinkedIn survey and could they help me by going ahead and clicking like when I release it. And I had probably over 90% of the people said, yeah, absolutely, we'll help you out with that. And then I picked another 15 people and waited 1 week. And after the survey was out, and I reached out to them via LinkedIn messaging, sent them a clip and said, hey, would you be willing to help me out and bump this post and help it kind of get visibility? And I would say, again, I had probably over 80% participation on that one. So all in all, what I read about the LinkedIn platform before I did this exercise, I had higher expectations. I thought with a network of over about 500 people and with 25 likes and 6 comments, I thought that it would get more views than 700. So as I performed research on LinkedIn to try to analyze, why did my posts get these kind of results? Could it get better results? I feel like the LinkedIn platform right now is more heavily on the sales side, and there's not a lot of consumers or clients that are really reading LinkedIn on a regular basis. So it's more of a sales platform. So these results don't really surprise me in retrospect. So what did I get from it? Well, I put about 4 hours into planning this campaign, building the form, writing the script, doing the Canva images, and kind of planning it out, writing the questions. I got a little bit of feedback that didn't take long. And so literally what we're looking at is on my response. Let me change this here to here. And you can see that out of all those 700 people that viewed it, only 9 people actually took it. I only got 9 responses. Hey, that's okay. And out of those 9, I had some really good contacts. So I made 2 new contacts that I had never asked. I didn't even know who they were. And then I had several other contacts reach out and offer help. One guy picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, what are you up to? What can I do? And introduced me to somebody else via phone. And we have a meeting next week, I think, to learn about what he's doing and to see if there's some partnership opportunities there. So all in all, I think it generated 5 new leads, and those 5 introduced me to 1 more, so 6 total. So far, I don't have any business out of that yet, but I'll keep you in touch and give you an update. What did I learn from this? I think that surveys are tough. Any kind of survey, whether it's short or well worded, people just don't want to take surveys, right? So maybe there could have been a better tool to start this campaign off with. The other thing, being in information security, I think some of my audience felt like I was trying to fish them, like it was some kind of security test. At least one person messaged me and told me that. So what would I do instead? I'm not quite sure. That's kind of where I'm at. So we've got 2 more rounds of the LinkedIn campaign. As you can see, some of my notes are down there. Then my next one is I'm going to tell people that I quit my job. And the third one is going to be introducing them to my new independent information security consulting business. So hopefully the course of over 3 unique messages and the likes and, individually touching with them will get some traction and everybody will be familiar. I also learned that LinkedIn probably isn't the popular platform that it used to be, and that not all my audience is actually on LinkedIn regularly. a lot of the people that I reached out to for help after the fact didn't even know that this was out there, and even over the course of 10 days still haven't even seen it. So that's my learning, and I hope that it helps you guys. Is it worth it? Yeah, definitely. I mean, 700 views, 9 survey responses, and 6 new leads. I think it's so if we break it down into an equation for an outbound marketing effort, 4 hours and no cost for 6 new leads, and I'll keep you in touch on how much revenue that generates. Thanks, guys. Take care.